folks. Welcome back to the Good Enough Gaming Podcast. This week's episode is entitled Add It to the List. We just got absolutely spoiled and had the summer showcase of games from all the major players, and there are some titles that have us pretty excited to play some games late 2024, early 2025. So we're going to break down the top of our list of things to play from the PlayStation State of Play, Xbox Showcase, Nintendo Direct, and Summer Game Fest. Like we said, lots has been released over the last month, so let's see if we have the same lineup of games to play as you, or if we missed anything that we should circle back to and take a second look. All I know, it's going to be a long list.
Not that long.
Well, guys, we're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're not dead.
Hey.
Not that anyone would know, because this didn't affect the release schedule at all. So everyone's just like, what?
So we went to GameCon, where I think we're doing are we doing a whole wrap up episode with that?
Nope.
No. Creative director says no.
You have to watch it. You have to go and watch what we did. There's no wrap up. You got to go watch it on YouTube.
There will be clips, so I'll probably put together a whole playlist of I'll do a whole playlist of individualized interviews and stuff that we did. We talked to a ton of people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'll probably individualize those. I'll then probably do a whole collection of that. I may or may not put that out as a podcast. I don't know if that'll sound any good as a podcast, but we'll see. Let us know if that's what the people want. It's not hard to do. So.
So we are the announcements were just popping off this past couple weeks here. I know, State of Play Showcase. One that just came up was Nintendo Direct yesterday?
Yesterday.
Yes, yesterday.
From when we're recording this, yes.
Absolutely exploded with something that you wouldn't have thought was going to get re-released. And this is one that we've pined for over and over and over. This is one where, we reminisce to our, MAME emulator days on our computers. And that's the entire Marvel fighting game series.
Yeah, they finally listened to us. We've been talking about this for
Long time.
Ages on this podcast.
Oh, my God.
So what all, because I didn't actually watch that one. What all is in that?
All of the games.
Okay,
everything.
Yeah, X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvels versus Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Marvel versus Capcom.
Marvel versus Capcom 2.
Yep.
The Punisher side scroller.
That one, that's a very interesting addition for me because
it's a very obscure one.
Yeah, side scroller beat 'em up, but it was a banger of a game.
Punisher and Nick Fury.
Yes.
Capcom has done that on some of their other fighting collections where they've released a bunch of the mainstay games. And then they've either thrown in a game that's never been ported to a console and it's been arcade only, or it's been a game that that wasn't available in North America and they just bring it over.
Boop. I just scrolled the list.
Yeah, so it's Marvel Superheroes, X-Men, Children of the Atom, X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel versus Street Fighter, Marvel versus Capcom, Marvel versus Capcom 2, and The Punisher. Are all the games in there.
Fucking bangers.
That's
all
awesome.
of them. Yeah.
Great fighting games. Now, that's not just Nintendo, right? Where's that? That's going to everybody?
So they've confirmed that this is on PC, PlayStation, Switch, get fucked Xbox. For some reason, it's not coming to Xbox. I honestly feel bad. I feel bad for Xbox players. I don't know. No, I don't think anybody knows.
They just know the online play. It's just they're just gonna be banning people left and right for the.
Well, they did have that is the change. Is there is online fighting, so there's online ranked and everything for the.
Can we bring so at GameCon we watched a ton of Smash Bros and Street Fighter, and I'm not huge on fighting games, but watching competition side of that was fucking awesome.
It was really
we bring
cool,
back Marvel versus Capcom 2 competitive.
Oh,
it's hype. That's one of the some of the greatest clips of all time.
Yeah.
When Buddy's
the
perfect
moves.
blocking Chun-Li, and then goes off with Ken and
Yeah.
If you get the block off of like the triple ultimates coming at you, and just and that game just looks so cool. It's just so much fun.
Maybe in post you can splice some Marvel vs. Capcom 2 competitive clips in there.
I don't know about competitive, but I'm putting some sick ass Marvel vs. Capcom 2 stuff in.
Heck yeah, you are. I want to take you for a ride.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is like
soundtrack, right?
Yeah, I don't think Marvel vs. Capcom 2 has been available to buy since Xbox 360 generation. Like
that game, that's like PS3. Yeah,
like that game has been unbuyable for forever. Obviously that you can emulate it, and that's what most people have done for years. But like the fact that this is a legitimate release on console, it's gonna have online multiplayer. Like,
that's huge. That's what makes it. If they didn't bring that back, it would be a waste. Bringing that back into it is it's going to get everyone in on it.
Yep,
100%.
Big.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the net code is like on that. Yeah.
I do have to shout out. I'm just quickly, because these aren't ones that we're going to touch on for very long. Nintendo's also bringing back 4 Swords for Zelda: Link to the Past, which is kind of cool for multiplayer. They're also bringing back Turok.
Yeah, I know. I saw that
at the bottom of the list. Now,
and Perfect Dark.
That's new. Oh no, Perfect Dark. Sorry, I'm thinking of thinking of the other one. So they're bringing back the classic Perfect Dark just in time for Xbox to bring back a new version of Perfect Dark.
Yeah,
which also looks sick.
Well, and it's funny because Nintendo, they now have like an N64 classics on the Switch, but for mature 17 plus games only. So really? I thought part of that announcement yesterday was I saw Turok. I was like, okay, that's sick.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I thought Conker's Bad Fur Day was going to be the next one.
There's a chance. Like they're going to have to they're going to have to expand to it, right? Like there was a lot of that like adult humor games back then. Like that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, to put a separate mature like emulator spot on the system, I was like, fuck, that's Conker's Bad Fur Day is going to be there. Guaranteed.
100%.
Of all the consoles, though, like, obviously the Switch is the most family friendly. It's got probably the most focus on, like, younger kids' games. Like, that, to me, it's just like, that's a total win for them. That's a genius move.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
now, I got a head scratcher for you from that Nintendo Direct announcement. Metal Slug Attack Reloaded. So it's like Metal Slug themed.
Sounds like a remake of a remake.
Defense game.
I'm in for that. That sounds awesome. You said the magic words of Tower Defense, Kyle,
and
then you're telling me that it's themed off of Metal Slug. I'm fucking in.
That? How did we get here?
I did. I asked for Tower Defense. Bring back Tower Defense. I'm sick of popping balloons with monkeys. Get them the fuck out of here.
I'm with Trev on that, man. We need more tower defense back in our lives. Such a
good
simple
tower defense,
thing.
not gotcha tower defense.
Yes,
good tower defense that I can pause, save, walk away from, come back to.
Yes.
Like,
so I think maybe for the sake of consistency here, let's just cycle through all the major events that we've listened through so far, so we don't bounce around too much.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up with
we're gonna
Nintendo
stick with
here.
Nintendo Direct.
We're sticking with Nintendo Direct then. Okay.
Yeah.
So
sorry,
I'm going next. Fuck you.
You're going.
Okay.
Hear his voice.
I am super stoked for Dragon Quest III remake.
You took it off my list.
Yeah, I'm.
And
unbelievably good franchise. I enjoy those games a ton, and I've played a lot of those growing up. So I'm very, very excited to play those. 3 being remade first is also really cool because that's the chronological order of the story. So 3 happens before 1 and 2, even though they're in the same universe.
Japan, why you got to do this to us?
So I'm really excited that 3 is first because then it follows the chronological path of the heroes that touch Eldritch.
So, but they are releasing 1 and 2 next year too.
They are.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
it's
the
on
plan.
the list. Yeah.
That's the next plan. It looks really good. Like it's like that.
Gorgeous.
It kind of takes me to like Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and stuff, where it's the old style, but it's updated graphics. It looks really clean. It's the same old gameplay, but it just has that added depth and breadth to it that like you just kind of cleans up that old style game and makes it playable. To me, it's perfect for a handheld. Like that is
100%.
literally like the right move for this to be on the Switch.
Yeah.
And it's just going to lend itself super well to being played on that platform.
It's so funny because usually we just shit on Nintendo and the Switch, but this time, like, honestly, they made smart decisions. They kind of stayed in their lane, and they were like, "Hey, let's not try and run Black Ops 6 on the Switch, right? Like Black Ops 6 coming to the Switch." Like, no, you might as well just leave it out in the sun in the fire pit to melt. Like, why?
Yeah. Just gonna fry your system.
And it's so funny, Daryl, because there's a whole category now because it's HD 2D is what it's called.
Yeah,
so it's like like your Octopath Travelers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm excited for those two. I saw those. I was like, oh man, like bring me back those classics.
Yeah.
Make an HD 2D remake of fucking Chrono Trigger next. I don't care.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Sign me the fuck up. Yeah.
That would be dope. And there's a chance because like the other game, like since we're like kind of in that on that realm, is like Fantasian. Like that's one of the
that looks really cool too.
Original creators of like in the Final Fantasy franchise has come back and he's like produced this new game. And so I'm like, oh, this looks really interesting too. Like a new combat system that kind of has that Tales of Arise kind of look with like combinations and formations in their battle like system. So I was like, okay, interesting. So I'll probably pick that up too.
Well, and I know that game initially launched on the Apple Arcade of all places. That was kind of one of their like launch titles to get people to adopt that system. And I think from what I can remember anyway, I think it was reviewed very well. Like I think people actually liked it a lot.
If your
I like that it's getting a Switch port. Like,
if your iPhone can run it, so can your Switch.
Yeah.
It's it's really cool though to like circle back to what Trevor was saying. Like in a weird way, the Switch has kind of become like the penultimate console for RPGs and like JRPGs and turn-based games and like tactics-based RPGs. There are so many good ones on the Switch, and like you've got all of the exclusive stuff too. You've got, Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door. You've got Super Mario RPG that just came out last year.
Mario Rabbids is apparently very good.
It is actually very, very good.
No dissing the Rabbids, man.
Yeah.
It's weird little.
But yeah, I mean, it's great. Like Daryl said, so many of these games lean themselves very well to being handheld. And it's so easy with turn-based RPGs to play a couple battles and then pause, save, and put it down and walk away. Like, yeah, some really good selections there.
Speaking of handhelds,
you want to go over to first base?
Oh,
every Nintendo Switch Legend of Zelda fanboy, fangirl, fan people, like collectively came in their pants when they announced the Hyrule edition of the Switch Lite.
Yeah, right. The gold.
The gold is pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty cool.
It's super dope. And to pair with Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Which is, a whole new story. It looks like kind of cutesy.
Well, they did that with, I think that was the Link to the Past remake they did, where it's like
Link's Awakening.
Yeah, where they kind of, like, it's like Funko Pop-esque. Like, I don't know how to describe it.
I'd say that's
chibi.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Chibi?
Yeah, chibi style.
Chibi style, yeah. So they kept the style of that. And then obviously the huge draw to this one is like, this is the first time you get to play as Zelda.
Yeah.
So maybe the moms will stop confusing it these days.
I did see some people like being super stoked about it. I know, some of the people we met at GameCon were posting about it today.
Yeah.
Zeldria, shout out.
Yeah.
Posting about the fact that you get to play as Zelda.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Wow.
Because
it's pretty cool.
People were freaking out that they didn't get to do that in Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah,
because that was like kind of.
I felt like that was kind of the moment to do that, and
the trailers all kind of alluded to it just a tiny bit, and you're like, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's finally time," and there's like, "No,
more like tears of the fandom."
Yeah.
Well, and this game's interesting too because they've added a bunch of different combat mechanics. So like Zelda doesn't actually swing her staff, from what I gather. Like
she's got to make stuff or like conjure stuff.
Yeah, like she can defeat enemies and then pick up their essence or their echo, and then she can essentially summon the enemies to fight for her against us.
I was gonna say, it's like, so either this is a Souls-like game or she's a fucking necromancer.
Necro.
Yeah, so
that's how she's lived this long.
Like the unbeknownst truth of Zelda this entire time. She's into the dark arts.
Ganondorf's actually been dead 5 times, and she just keeps bringing them back.
Yeah.
She's just like the chase of.
She's just trolling Link this entire time.
Yeah.
Just relationship tests. God. How do you clean up this ketchup, Link? Clean up the ketchup.
Oh my god. Just the worst TikTok shit.
Now, the other one that went in another weird direction for Nintendo. Did you guys see Mario and Luigi Brothership?
I was just gonna say, can we talk about Brothership? Like what?
It's like
it's the dumbest name in the world.
Riding a UFO.
Brother. So it's bringing back like Mario and Luigi. So you've got Mario and Luigi like couch co-op, but it's like it's not Paper Mario.
No.
And it's not pixelated, but it's like flattened cell shaded. I don't know how to do it. Like it reminds me of Sandland, which we just talked about. Like it's kind of that like anime flattened style.
So the Mario and Luigi is actually its own spin-off franchise. So there's a few games over the years that are Mario and Luigi. They're all turn-based. They're all turn-based games. The last one was,
but there's like RPG.
But this one is like puzzle solving and platforming and mixed into it. And
I feel like it's like Pokemon because I'm looking at it and there's combat mechanics where it's like it looks like turn-based combat. But then in between combats, you're like exploring an open world.
Yeah, that's it takes 2 or like unraveled components of traveling around the map, and it's like, what can this game decide what identity it has? Like,
it could be weird or it could be awesome.
So it's basically what these games try and aim to be is that bridge between the platforming Mario games and the turn-based combat of Paper Mario. And so it's this large world that you can explore, and you need to use like the team up components of Mario and Luigi to like traverse it. But from a straight combat standpoint, it's turn based. I've played the last one was on the 3DS. I've played that one a bunch. It's actually a very good game, but they're largely forgotten because they're turn based, and a lot of people just get turned off as soon as they hear that. So
turned off base.
But it's a dumb name. Honestly, I'm kind of looking forward to it, but there's so many other games coming out that it'll get lost. It'll get lost at the by the wayside for sure.
Okay, should we move on? Announcements? Should we move?
Hold on, I have one more.
There's an elephant in the room, Kyle. There's a huge one we haven't talked about.
I know. I'm just trying to.
I have one more from Nintendo, and that I don't know if you guys saw it or were like interested at all, but like Formagia or like
no
Formaggio.
As soon as I heard the name, I was like, that's too fucking dumb for me to play.
It's like it starts off as like a farming sim where you're putting your crops together, but you're actually like building monsters. And then like once the crop produces it, like they become beasts, and then you combine them together. You can make like a huge beast. It's like, it was so weird, but at the same time, I was like, this is kind of intriguing. Like, I kind of want to know how this plays.
You lost me like 3 times through that.
This is Pikmin meets Digimon is what this is.
It was really wild.
But there's also like tactics stuff to it. It looks weird, but I'm curious. But the one I thought Daryl was going to go to when I was trying to like usher Daryl into there was Metroid Prime Beyond.
Oh, we were skipping that one, weren't we?
Metroid Prime 4. Yeah.
The Metroid people obviously freaked out about this. And I think the biggest thing that came out of it was that the trailer looked way too fucking good to run on a Switch.
No question.
And that was everyone going, this is a Switch 2 release game. That's the most important thing to take out of that announcement.
Okay,
I think so too.
Can I drop a hot take?
What?
Go
Is
nuts.
this gonna piss people off?
I don't know.
Yes.
I probably have the same take.
You say Metroid Prime looks like garbage? Is that what you're gonna say?
No, I think Metroid as a whole is overrated and needs to be left alone for a while.
Honestly,
it has been left alone for a while.
Still, keep leaving it alone.
They let it.
It's not
except
that
they let
good.
They let it. It's like in the back of the fridge, and it's starting to form a smell.
Yeah,
It looks.
it's
it
all
looks
nostalgia bank.
It looked like Doom ordered from Wish. Is what I took it as. Like
Temu Doom.
It's
they have a lot of
Nintendo's Doom game.
Yes,
it's like the only equivalent.
sci-fi kind of family or slightly more family-friendly version of Doom is what I took it as. You just don't get to rip and tear, which is the best part.
Yes.
Yeah, so Metroid is a weird one because they've got the Metroid Prime games, which are first-person shooters, and then they've got just like the Metroid games, which are generally more side-scroller. I think they should have split it in the middle. To me, this type of game should be third-person, like semi-open world. Make it level-based or kind of larger explorable areas. But again, this is one of those weird ones where it's like, I want to see Samus's suit. Like, I don't,
not just a cannon right in front of the camera.
no, like that to me, just the perspective of it is very odd. And I know like when she shrinks into her little ball to like roll around, it zooms out, but,
Wait, Samus is a woman?
oh God.
I'm kidding.
But yeah, I don't know. I agree with you, Trev, though. To me, that trailer is a Switch 2 trailer. I guarantee you they will do like a dumbed down version for the original Switch. But that
so look like Mortal Kombat 1, where like the face is like all fucked up, and
that was so bad.
Yeah, but there's no way that trailer looked too good to be an OG
Either that
Switch.
or it's like the equivalent of some of these other games we might talk about where you just get like animated trailers that have no real gameplay in them.
Yeah.
Right. Where you're like, this could be a tactics game. This could be a first person shooter game. I don't know the difference, but you just made like a story trailer that means nothing to the game, really.
Yeah.
No one's going to talk about Donkey Kong coming back?
No.
It's just it's a Wii.
It's a
game.
remake. It's a remake.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a new Mario Party.
That one, I am looking forward to. Is the new Mario Party, but
it'll be good. It's Mario Party.
20-player multiplayer. That sounds
which is
fucking
wild.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like I've got 19 new people to hate.
Well, and I love the fact that it's not like the game board. They just throw you into mini games after.
I was gonna say that's the only way the 20-player works. Can you imagine waiting 20 fucking turns to like go again?
It'd be a nightmare.
That would be the worst game.
And just like sitting there waiting for someone to roll their dice when they left.
Exactly. Like that's absolutely awful. But like like just Jordan said, it's great that it's just mini games. Like you're just getting thrown in every time, just going for battle of wins essentially.
Mm-hmm. Curious to see how it works. Yeah, I'd like to see how that works out, but it sounds interesting.
Yeah, and thankfully they're adding more maps to the last Mario Party on the Switch. There weren't enough game boards. I think this starts with like 5 or 6, and then it sounds like they're going to add more kind of with like free content updates.
Sick.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to shift to, we'll go to Sony's State of Play next. Because it's a little bit shorter.
I was going to say there's not much.
There's only
much
one
on that
game.
one.
There's one game.
It was part of Summer Game Fest, but I mean, there's one game. There's a couple that actually look intriguing. They decided that, hey, we need a 5v5 first person shooter, like team based Concord. Why?
They tried to create like a Guardians of the Galaxy themed, like wickedly awesome 3D animated trailer.
Yeah.
And you're like, this could literally be about anything. This seems kind of cool. And then they cut to gameplay. I was like, this is the stupidest fucking thing I have seen. Like, why? You just made a Marvel recopy of Overwatch, which Overwatch 2
got announced for PS5,
which is also dumb. Like, I don't think I don't know why someone's trying to recreate the magic of Overwatch 1 because it was a fantastic game for a while. And they just won't let it go. They just won't let it go, and they're like, let's just keep throwing shit at it till it works. It's like, just stop. Like,
maybe it's dead for a reason. Like, you know, like,
What blows my mind is you had a 40-minute PlayStation showcase, and like 16 minutes of that was for Concord.
It took over.
What?
Well, they spent. It looks like they spent like Disney levels of money on this 3D animation. They're like, we better show it. Like,
oh fuck.
Yeah, and like every season, there's more to the story, or like a new and like cinematic or something. This from my understanding of watching that whole thing, I was just like, this seems like a weird concept, but I mean, people do. I was like, people like shooting games. I don't. I'm not gonna play this shit. But like,
it was the same thing. It was the same thing with Overwatch. Like, it was like, why are you trying to add all of this like extra backstory to like a 5v5, like, you know, follow the car shooter, right? It's like trying to add deep story to Team Fortress. Like, fuck off with that.
The only way that games like this become successful is if the competitive esports community picks it up. And
100%.
I honestly do not see Concord being picked up by tournaments and esports. I really don't. Like, it's
saturated.
Well, I mean, you've got Valorant. You're going to have this new Marvel Overwatch game, whatever the fuck that's called.
Rivals.
Yeah, Rivals.
Same thing, like unnecessary.
I think that's dead in the water. I think it's dead in the water already.
Rivals?
I think as soon as they announced Overwatch 2, that whole genre was just like no one.
Okay.
I don't think they play competitively, at least. I don't think it's as big as it was.
No, I agree.
Okay. Can we talk about Silent Hill 2, that remaster coming out?
Cautiously optimistic.
I love it. So fucking creepy, and it's like one of my PS2 memories. Silent Hill 2.
There's just something about the gameplay that doesn't look good. It looks dated. I don't know.
They've been working on it for forever.
Yeah, I can't quite put my finger on it, but every time I see it, I'm like, it just doesn't look fun to play. It doesn't look good.
It don't look right.
Yeah, some doesn't look
I accept that.
You know, it does look awesome though.
Path of Exile.
I mean, yes. I mean, they went out of their way. Like, we were talking about this before. They went out of their way to announce that it was coming to the PS5. I never really had a doubt that it would, considering now that we've got things like Diablo that run pretty well on PS5.
I'm glad they confirmed it, regardless.
Yeah,
it looks fucking awesome.
I'm happy, but yeah,
early access in the fall.
I'm hoping Path of Exile just like
how many classes to start? Like 10?
10, I think. Yeah, I think it's 10 confirmed.
I'm really looking forward to playing that game. That's going to be a big game.
I just want to get in love with that game, but I also want it to like push the other developers like your Blizzard with Diablo to be like, hey, this is how you're supposed to fucking do it. Do better.
When it's somehow free to play, like, I don't understand that. I don't get how that all works.
I mean, if Diablo is free to play with their other microtransactions, be like, yeah, cool. I'm down for that. But don't charge me $90 and then try and charge me $90 again.
Yeah, exactly.
And then again.
Yeah.
God damn it. I mean, I've played my money's worth of that game, but
yeah. I'm gonna bring it up because I think it was maybe shown at PlayStation, but it may have been the summer showcase. But it comes out soon. Black Myth Wukong. That comes out in August.
Yep.
And everything I see about that game looks fucking incredible.
I was like, that looks like a game for you. I don't think I'm playing that game, but that looks like a game for you.
I'm so skeptical of that game.
Really?
They've shown a ton of gameplay.
That's
true.
Go
watch gameplay.
I will admit that, but the more I see of just like hyper high def, like intro cutscenes and not enough of like in-depth, like captured gameplay, always concerns me. I don't know why. Like, especially nowadays, it's like it feels like I'm gonna just like buy the game and be like, wow, I feel bad that I paid for this, right? Like that's I'm cautiously optimistic. I'll put it that way.
Well, I think they're leaning into how viral that game went, because it went crazy viral like 2 years ago, purely because of the visuals. You know, they released like their first trailer, and just from a visual perspective, it blew people away. And so I think that's why they keep launching like 30-second trailers, where it's just like this crazy, super detailed thing. But I will give them kudos compared to some of the other like Souls-like developers out there, is they have actually shown a lot of gameplay for it. I think late last year they had like a 25-minute demo that showed a couple boss fights and like, you know, traveling through the game world and exploring and stuff. For me, it's the story. Like it's inspired by the Journey to the West, and like Chinese mythology, which we haven't gotten much of that in video games. Like it's nice to
lots of Japan.
Yeah. You know, it's nice to mix things up from playing the same like Japanese stories all the time. It just comes down.
You don't want to fight Lu Bu again in Dynasty Warriors?
No, I do not. So, but yeah, no, I'm super excited for that game. It's got the best parts of like an action RPG hack and slash, like a Ninja Gaiden. But then it's got the crazy over the top boss fights of like an Elden Ring or like a crazy anime JRPG. So
fair.
Hopefully it meshes all of those together.
Just doesn't look like a character I can buy into, if I'm being honest.
You're pretty hairy like a monkey, Daryl.
I know.
I mean, he is
I'm part Italian. What do you expect?
I mean, okay, he Daryl, is a real character, so it's not like they made him up.
True. Daryl, do you have any highlights from the state of play?
No, the only game I wanted to play on that whole thing was Path of Exile. Like that was the only one.
Oh, Trevor's got
one.
What
are you doing to my boy? What are you doing to my little baby boy?
I know. I don't really care. I wasn't really.
PlayStation Mario. We're finally competing with graphics and like quality. PlayStation Mario is Astrobot.
Yes, and we've been asking for that. We've been like
since we saw the first one.
Astro's Playroom was so good that we're like, they should make a.
I didn't mind it. I played Astro's Playroom, but I like you guys love Astrobot, and I was like, I am impartial. Like, it's great, but it's just not one of those things I'm like itching to play.
No, it's like I said, right? It's like going back to Mario 64, just that nostalgia, just in Sony. But it's so funny with Astro because he's like the robot that lives in your PlayStation. This almost feels like one of those movies you get every 2 or 3 years out of the States. That's like a Go America, we love our military kind of movie, but it's about the PlayStation. And they're just like, look, he flies a PlayStation controller. Look, the spaceships are PlayStations. Like everything about it just scream. It's like watching Transformers and everything is advertising.
PlayStation propaganda.
Except it's just entirely PlayStation propaganda. That's
so
all
funny.
It is.
Yeah, the controller is the
dress up as
PlayStation patriotism.
Yeah, they have all of the marketing and like all of the licensing to like have him dress up, or all like the little Easter eggs of every single PlayStation franchise.
Kratos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just pure propaganda, but it looks like fun.
Yeah.
They definitely needed a mascot because
do we miss any? Like,
I thought that they were going to have Sackboy. I thought they were going to do a sequel to Sackboy. That's what I was expecting. So this one is, I mean, it's cool.
Mm-hmm. And God of War coming to PC.
Yeah. People rejoiced.
To break things up a bit, it's been a while since we fought. Daryl, can you take us to the Danger Dome and introduce this week's Fantasy Face-Off?
You betcha.
Fantasy Face-Off.
Welcome back to the Danger Dome. It is the Fantasy Faceoff for episode 16. And if you don't know what this is where we take two figures from any universe possible, whether it's gaming, TV, comics, whatever I'm feeling the flavor of for that week, and we pit them against each other in a fight to the death and discuss who would win. So this week, I call it the TV Legends. And this one's way out there. So I was like, yeah, let's have some fun with it this week, boys. Let's really get weird. So
Every week.
This is Paul Blart versus Michael Scarn.
To look up Michael Scarn.
Michael Scarn is Michael Scott's character he made in the
Threat Level Midnight.
Threat Level Midnight.
I was like,
Kevin James versus
Michael Scarn is an international man of mystery. Paul Blart is a fucking mall cop on a Segway.
yeah, but
didn't he
he's
like stop? Like, didn't he stop something like huge?
he
I don't
stopped a
remember the
massive robbery and heist, man.
Oh, Daryl.
Michael Scarn.
Michael Scarn just does a dance at the bar.
Yeah, but he also
Do the Scarn
dance. Do the
Paul
Scarn.
Blart. Paul Blart is like the Super Troopers, right? Like he's a slacked cop who ends up like solving a huge crime. Like that's
Michael Scarn is a poor man's. That's your wish version's James Bond. Nobody actually hired him.
Now the question is, does Paul Blart get his segue in this battle?
Yes.
Because that is
it's
a
critical.
big...
It's part of his
part of
critical.
the experience of Paul Blart.
Okay.
But
part of his
can
PPE.
Paul Blart skate on ice like Michael Scarn?
No, Michael Scarn is the skating pro.
What is the venue of this battle?
It's a food court.
It's a food court.
Meet me by the bike rack outside in the parking lot.
I just imagine this as like a Mortal Kombat fight where the backdrop is just like a shitty 90s mall food court and they're just like in the front of it.
You got NPCs like, yeah.
This guy's just drinking his soda on the side, watching.
Yeah.
I'm calling Michael Scarn.
Michael Scarn.
I'm going Paul Blart. Paul
Oh,
Blart, man. The segue. He's gonna have this crazy fatality move where he just like tire rubs your face off or something. I don't know. I just feel like it's happening. Paul Blart.
I think I'm going with Jordan just for a weight class. Just out of a weight class kind of approach here.
poor Kyle.
I quit.
I didn't think it was fair to put Michael Scarn against like Jason Bourne, so I was like, this is better.
Yeah, that's
You could do like Michael Scarn
Yeah.
against like Pink Panther or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, this is pretty funny.
Or like, what is it, Johnny English or whoever, the one that Mr. Bean plays?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Johnny English.
Yeah, Paul Blart's just gonna belly flop off the Segway. He's just gonna be like coming
Just
in
momentum.
hot.
Just the physics of momentum.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, tie some yarn. That's the Scarn.
When I saw the Danger Dome episode today, that was not on my bingo card.
No,
Not even close.
no.
Way out there. We're going way out there.
I respect
All
it.
right.
Okay.
Well, Blart, you're the winner, buddy.
Thou Blart, the winner.
Join us in our Discord if you disagree with us. We'd love to argue about this further.
I need support.
Tell us what you think of this
Kyle
segue.
Yeah.
needs some help. Oh,
Yo.
Yeah, fair. Okay, so let's bring it back to the rest of Summer Game Fest because we kind of focus on PlayStation for it, but I want to talk about the rest of it because there's a bunch, and then we'll finish off with the Xbox showcase.
Which, yeah,
So,
okie dokie.
rightfully so, I think, if we're...
Yeah.
Summer
Yes.
Game Fest, a weird one that looks absolutely hilarious. Cuff Bust.
Yes.
It's like a prison break where you play as a jailien.
Which looks kind of like a cute little panda or like a cute little koala.
an
it's
alien
like
koala bear.
Alien
Yeah.
koala, and you're trying to break out of prison.
It looks hilarious.
It looks so funny, and that's like a
it reminds me of
variety
like
streamer one.
it reminds me of like a Gang Beasts or what was that, the content warning, and the other one we saw people dressed up as GameCon, the
Lethal Company.
Lethal Company.
Yeah,
it makes me think of one of those games. Like it's one of those ones you maybe hope it comes onto like a Game Pass or something for like really cheap or free, and you're gonna play it for like a week with your friends and just have the best time. You might not go back to it, but you're just gonna have like gut wrenching laughter.
Yeah. You're gonna bring up memories of those gameplay sessions. It's got a little bit of Among Us in there too. Like this game has the chance with streamers to go viral.
Oh, for sure.
For Trevor's points, you know, some hilarious clips between a group of friends and just like the craziest shit happening. That's where this game is successful.
Yeah, just like 4 fair friends playing it together that might have a podcast, and
who knows?
We're playing.
If it hits PS Extra or if it's like super, super cheap, I would absolutely pick this up. I'm not sure I'm dropping $40 on day one for
some Jaliens.
No, don't think that's gonna happen.
Okay,
which is a great name.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Daryl, I know there's one that you've been itching to talk about.
Okay, yes.
Let's go. Your goddamn shirt.
Let's go. Okay. Rita's Rewind, the Power Rangers game. This looks just like the Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge, like with some other like mini game stuff mixed into it. Like I saw some stuff where they're like on the bikes or like just like on the road, like jumping over obstacles and stuff. I was like, oh, I'm so into this. It looks retro, but it looks so much fun. It's like based off of the original Power Rangers and characters and stuff. I was like, oh, and they didn't show the Green Ranger, but there's lots of like little things in there that led me to believe that he's in there. Like when they're in the like the train carts and the empty one is green, and I was like, oh, okay, he's like
he'll be an unlockable character, I think.
Which is like exactly what that game needs, you know. Like Ninja Turtles had Casey Jones. Give me somebody to unlock that, like play through the game. I'll unlock this character, then I'll play it again, kind of thing. But I am so fucking excited for this game. I've been waiting for a Power Rangers something to come out that like has any semblance of hope, and this is it. Like this is
100%.
I loved the Power Rangers game on Super Nintendo. I fucking love that game. So I'm so excited to play this.
The one question I have, because they didn't really show it in the trailer, is like, is there going to be boss battles where you are the Megazord and it just turns into like a rampage arena where you're just like picking up buildings and chucking buildings at the enemies, and like
I hope there's something.
If there's something like that, I'm gonna lose my mind, because that would be awesome.
Like if it's anything like the end of the one on Super Nintendo, then like that's how you finish the game, is you're in the Zord, right? Like
can we do the like similar to TMNT? Can we end the game listening to some fucking Wu-Tang fighting the Statue of Liberty?
Yes.
In a Zord? Like, can we just do that? Just recreate that magic?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Something like something great has to be near the end, but like the Power Rangers song is super catchy and just like all of it. Oh, I can't fucking wait to play that.
I'm with you, Daryl, man. As soon as I saw the intro, I was like texting you guys frantically, being like, "Holy shit, this is Shredder's Revenge, but Power Rangers!" Like, let's fucking go.
I flipped out, man. I was so amped.
Yeah. And I'd love it if there were unlockable, because like there's so many different generations of Power Rangers.
Yes.
Like I would love it if they just threw in different suits and different generations as unlockable content. Like, sign me up. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if the character like doesn't change in terms of skills or anything, like if you can unlock like 10 versions of the Red suit, Ranger or whatever, like the Mighty Morphin versus the traditional Power Rangers,
Dino Force versus.
Because I don't know how many
Storm and whatever else there is.
There's
like,
so many versions.
Yeah. Like the Ninja Storm suits are fucking sick. Like, let me play as one of those. That would be awesome.
I was just like, because I played Battle for the Grid, which is like Power Rangers, like Street Fighter game. And the story was fun, and it's kind of based off of the comic that released like around that time, just a couple years before that. So I was fine with it. It wasn't great. Like it was, and it kind of had that same bullshit that Street Fighter does, where it's like, here's the game, but then here's 20 characters we want you to pay for separately, and like whatever. Yeah. I'm like, fuck you. Like,
yeah, they had a lot of that content in there, a lot of DLC.
Yeah,
that game.
Whereas this game, I have the same hopes that Trevor does. Like, I'm hoping that there's like skins, or like if it's just the original Power Rangers, like can they give me the part where they become like the ninjas after the movie? Can I have the movie suits? Can I have like like just give me that stuff, and I'll be so happy.
Some sort of progression. Yeah, you've got to have something in there.
I just hope that they have a little bit more attached to the end game, because like Shredder's Revenge, you beat the story and then it just kind of like peters off after that. So like if this game has, if you beat the story as this character, you unlock this, and then like it just kind of builds off of that.
Give it a bit more replayability.
Yeah. I hope they kind of like learn from Shredders, and they're like, oh hey, we can do this to make this experience better. Yeah, that's all I'm hoping for.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
it's a day one play for me though. Yeah, that's a day oneer.
Yeah.
Now, the other one I know Jordan is also excited about, and anyone out there who's been playing Elden Ring and you've been going for that cheap ass double katana build because you just love the bleed builds in Elden Ring, check out Phantom Blade Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. We're getting like classic Japanese samurai, like just wicked third-person gameplay out of this game.
The developers have coined it as Kung Fu Punk. And I'm like, I dig that. I dig that moniker. It looks like Ninja Gaiden, kind of that like hack and slash, but you have to read the enemy's movements and like learn to parry and dodge. But then there's also like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon abilities of like doing a fucking 720 spin kick in midair, and like just all this crazy kung fu action that I am so here for.
Yeah, there's some quick time events with some of the bosses
and crazy boss fights,
wacky boss fights. Like it's definitely taken a lot of Souls-like inspiration, but I would say not to the same degree as like a Sekiro, where you're like just that next level of annoying hardness with like the parrying system and everything like that.
I would say there's still some elements of Sekiro, but
just I don't think as difficult.
No.
I get more Ninja Gaiden vibes from this game than I do from others.
If it doesn't rely on the parry, I'll give it a go.
I think it's going to be a lot more.
Stand parry games.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot more dodging and like critical breaks of the enemy to do like finishing moves and stuff. Honestly, the story sounds really cool to this. So basically, the enemy is a group called the Order, and your character at the beginning of the game gets defeated by the Order, and a healer finds your character and revives you, but the spell that she uses is temporary, and it only lasts 66 days. And so basically the start of the game is you've got 66 days to take down the Order, and it's like a revenge story is kind of the gist of it that I get.
So Sekiro.
Kind of, yeah. But I like the time mechanic because I have a feeling the 66 days is going to play into the gameplay and the narrative. They've kind of kept it tight-lipped, though.
I feel like that might be a Souls-like mechanic with like resting, and you only get so many rests.
Oh,
yeah. So maybe. My thought is that they're not like, hey, you can't just go fight this one guy and come back and just rest right away and just cheese it, right? You can't just keep resetting everybody so that you can just stack up experience. That would be my guess, is that they're kind of putting a bit of a time crunch on it to force you to progress in the game.
So is it adding in like Sifu mechanics?
Possibly,
actually.
You know, that could be kind of interesting for a semi-open world game.
Guess we'll have to find out.
Yeah. One of us will play that for sure. It looks really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that game looks awesome. They've shown it a couple times now. I kind of hope that game has a demo because I feel like it needs one. Because a lot of people are confusing it with like Stellar Blade and like Black Myth Wukong, and like there's a lot of those games coming out right now that all feel somewhat similar.
Yeah.
So I feel like a demo would be perfect for this game.
Switching gears completely like away from that style, and I know Jordan will be excited for this one too because we have talked about it. But we got more of a kind of a look at Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which I'm stoked. Like that game looks good. I love the Dragon Ball franchise, and this has a massive roster of characters.
Huge.
And the other thing that I liked that, you know, some people look at fighting games and they're like, oh no, like why would I play this? Like it's so stupid. But the power dynamic of the characters are not balanced. So when you go into a fight as Yamcha and you're fighting against Broly, you're going to get your fucking ass kicked by Broly because he's way stronger than you. And like you have no business being in that fight, which is like for the gamers that are amazing at these things and want to perfect everything.
Good challenge.
It'll be a massive flex as like being Krillin and beating Frieza. You know what I mean? Like you just, there's the power dynamic there is so off kilter so they're actually leaning in and be like, no, this guy's super powerful. He's going to be more powerful. I am so into that.
That's pretty cool.
There's not a lot of games that do that anymore. And especially in the fighting genre. So it's going to will you to like want to get these other characters and progress and play the next powered up guy. Like you're not going to be able to get used to being the same character that entire time.
Well, and the other cool thing is the story mode in this game. Because we've played the Dragon Ball Z saga about 1 million times.
An umpteenth amount of times.
But this game is actually going to have like, you're going to be able to choose different situations in pivotal moments. So like when you have to go fight a particular villain, you know, in the show, Goku and Piccolo go at the same time. But in the game, you'll be able to decide like, no, Piccolo, you stay here and protect everybody, and Goku will go by himself. Or so like there's a little bit of that choose your own adventure component.
It's almost like a what if situation, because like the one is instead of Goku and Gohan killing Cell, like you see a
Trunks
trailer of it's Vegeta and Trunks doing a father-son like kill a final blast together instead of a Kamehameha, and they kill Cell, and it's like, okay, so like what power dynamic does that change like into the next thing? So Vegeta's now the go-to, or Trunks is now the strongest kid, or like whatever.
Yeah. What ripple effect does that play on the rest of the story? Like that's what I want to know, is how much does it actually affect future components to it?
That'd be sweet, because that is something that they could definitely throw in there to like mess. Like we've talked about this before with Sandland. We talked about like the keeping it to the anime. Like this kind of helps you.
You don't always have to do it, right? Like that was the nice thing about Xenoverse. Like you just give me something fresh. I know the Dragon Ball Z story too well now. Like, and I've played it enough.
Like I would love, honestly, for Goku to die, and then like adult.
I can't do that. That's like the most beloved character ever.
No, I know, but like adult
just killed Jesus.
You know, adult Gohan becomes like top dog earlier than he's supposed to, or you know, Vegeta a lot of the time gets the shit end of the stick.
Yeah, he's like, never beat the top guy. Like give him his time in the sun.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we got to move on. We got to get to the Xbox one.
I do have to touch one quick because I have to play in my house. Lego Horizon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I'm curious. It looks kind of funny.
I like that you can change the outfits to like whatever fucking crazy Lego. It's like be a banana. You can be a chimpanzee. Like
Lego is slowly going to replace Sackboy, I think. So.
Yeah. Just a quick shout out for this one's for Kyle. The First Descendant. It's a free to play looter shooter that's coming out in July.
A summer game.
Yeah, free to play scares the fuck out of me. But it's a looter shooter, very quick movements, crazy boss fights. But I'm worried how Genshin Impact-y is it. So, but the looter shooter thing looked interesting, and the game visually does look very nice.
Sick.
We'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Okay, Xbox.
Last one. This was a bigger one.
So I think we all agreed. Although I will say Nintendo did a great job this time around.
Yeah.
Xbox won.
Yep.
They won the showcases.
First time in a long time where I'm like, wow, Xbox actually like stepped it up a little bit.
Crushed it.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing, Xbox has their own 5v5 shooter game called Fragpunk. Same shit. Like, stop it. Just stop it. They announced Diablo 4 expansion.
Costs way too much.
It costs way too much. It looks good.
It does look good. Yeah.
They announced Avowed, which I feel like is the Xbox version of whatever that failed first-person Magic game was for PlayStation.
Oh, Jordan, you played that? That like EA game or whatever?
It was like Eternium or something.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not where I went with that game at all. It's Obsidian, isn't it? Aren't they the guys?
It's Obsidian Entertainment, yeah.
It's Obsidian, but it looks like the same thing.
To me, this looks like their version of Elder Scrolls meets New Vegas. That's
okay.
Interesting. Okay,
that's kind of where
I'll accept that more then.
Yep. We knew it already, but Assassin's Creed Shadows.
I'm into
that might
it.
be an Assassin. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Assassin's Creed is that's like a guilty pleasure franchise for me. They're not all great. Some of them suck ball sack. But I play every single one, and like most Ubisoft games, if you wait 6 months, it's going to be on sale for $20. So just be patient. But those games, the updates that they've done to this one, honestly, do look very, very good. And finally, we get a Japanese fucking Assassin's Creed. We've been asking for that for over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm into it.
And is it Yasuke? No, sorry. Was that right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
On in the other bin of what the fuck and why, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Yeah, no, that looks
which was made by Bethesda, so it's gonna be broken as shit.
Oh, I didn't realize it was a Bethesda game.
It's made, yeah. The developer are the guys that do Wolfenstein.
I don't know. I was like, that game looks very passable. Like,
why do the Wolfenstein people like making Nazi games so much?
Yeah, right. I just don't like.
Just like kill a good Nazi.
Nobody asked for this game. Nobody like. Who the fuck wants to play this?
I feel like they were kind of like, well, we don't have a Tomb Raider right now. Uncharted's gone.
And no Uncharted.
Like, where is the inspiration for all of this? It's like, well, it all circles back to Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So like, fuck it, let's get the licensing. Yeah. At least it's not like a direct movie tie-in game, because then it would be hot garbage.
Yeah,
it has a chance. It's a slim chance, but it's not immediately just going to be a total piece of shit.
It's a no for me, dog.
But again, you've got a massive franchise with a super recognizable fucking character. Why is it first person?
Yes, thank you. Third person.
Cutscenes,
so
man.
Dumb.
It's all about the cutscenes.
Fuck that.
Why is everything on Xbox first person? Why is everything on Xbox first person?
Right? Yeah, I don't.
Sorry, Kyle.
That's okay. I agree. Ones that I do not give a shit about. Metal Gear Solid 4. Meh.
That's some cool. It does look decent, but
the people that love Metal Gear Solid love Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid, yeah.
Just can't do it.
Who were we talking to on the weekend?
Someone at the con just like fucking
loves.
It's like Kingdom Hearts, man. There's some weird story shit going on, and prequels and secret characters. It's a hard story to follow.
Yeah.
I thought that South of Midnight had like interesting character and graphics, like the design of everything. I thought looked pretty interesting.
Yeah.
If it's like a Game Pass game, I might give it a go. Like it had like interesting traversal and like you're in the bayou and
with these
it's like stop motion graphics.
Yeah, it had like stop motion graphics, which I was like, wow, this is crazy looking. Like
it kind of looks like we don't really know what it.
I don't know what it is. Like it just had like a bit of gameplay where you're traversing like through the swamp.
It honestly looks like the
adventure.
animation of the Spider-Verse movies.
Yeah, like
sort of. Yeah. But the way it's shown, it kind of makes me think of like a Life is Strange, kind of like more of a story game.
I'm not sure. It looks like there's like puzzle solving, and there is a battle mechanic to it because it did fight like a thing that was taking over the land in the trailer or whatever. Yeah. Anyways, it looks semi decent. I am
keep an eye out.
I would kind of. I was like interested in Age of Mythology Retold too. I was like, that's something I could dabble with on like on the weekend or something like that, and just get into that. That looks.
I'm curious about Flintlock.
That also, I was like, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
that's a toss up. Black Ops 6.
It's on Game Pass at least, right? So you don't have to pay if you don't want to.
That's fair.
But if they bring up like Blackout or whatever it is, like if they completely change Warzone, if they brought out, they haven't mentioned it yet because they said they're not. They said they're not going to be taking over Warzone, so there's still a chance that they might be doing Blackout, which was like beloved.
I can only get so erect. I've been hurt before. And I just can't do it again. Like it's just, I can't fall into the Call of Duty cycle. So it's like, I'll give it a month. And if honestly people are like, hey, they kind of fixed Call of Duty, I dabble, give it a shot. But like day one, hell no. Blackout is the only thing that'll get me back into the Battle Royale space. Cause that honestly was the best.
Okay. Fuck Call of Duty. Let's move on.
Okay, can we talk about we're running long because we love to talk.
There's so much.
There's lots of games.
Let's talk about the big bangers of the Xbox showcase. Gears of War makes a return.
Yeah.
Prequel.
Gears of War E-Day.
Yeah, prequel. Yeah. Huge.
People have been asking about E-Day forever.
Yeah. That's honestly one of the few things that made me want like either playing it on PC or playing on Xbox. Like Gears of War has always been a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Always been fun. Yeah.
I was gonna say the other Xbox franchise that like makes me want to play Xbox. Fable looks great. I can't fucking wait to play this game.
Yeah.
I'm so curious with like someone had mentioned it, like they with the cutscenes, they do all these like office cutaways to people doing interviews. Right? I'm just like, what is going on in this game?
Yeah, I love the comedic humor. Yeah, love the humor in that. We just don't know. Again, don't know what the gameplay is. Is it going to be similar to Fable 1 and 2? Or are they going to completely overhaul the whole thing? Still some questions there, but it does look very good.
I'll be into it. I'll play it.
I'll 100% give it a shot. Yeah.
Now, the game that I think was the biggest surprise for Daryl and myself was Expedition 33.
Expedition 33, yeah.
So
that game looks sick.
Brand new IP. I think it's an Xbox exclusive. No.
Nope.
Oh.
All of them.
Ooh.
PlayStation, PC.
Okay. It is Game Pass exclusive, so
it is,
that is an important thing to mention. But that game looks fucking awesome. Visually gorgeous.
Yeah.
Love the story. The story idea is super unique. Basically they go on an expedition to kill a god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because every year the god kills people that have hit a certain age. So there's these like weird
timer
gaps in
counts
society.
Down. Yeah, so the year before was the year 34. So anybody that was age 34 in the world, they all died. And so
they got like Thanos. They like turned to dust.
Yeah. So that's this Expedition 33 that's the next year. As soon as the year 33 ends, everybody that age gone. And so they're like, fuck, we got to go get this god.
Huntress.
Yeah. So
I think the
I love
battle
the
mechanics of
concept.
it look phenomenal, like right up my alley. So
Yeah,
Tactics RPG, man.
yeah,
but
I'm
like
into
kind
it.
of live actiony. Like there's a little bit more to it. So it's one of those games where you're finally like, okay, we're now hitting the peak of PS5, Xbox Series X or Series whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we need to dial up the graphics. We need to actually optimize these systems, and it looks like they did that.
It looks gorgeous. Yeah.
As long as all of what we saw wasn't just like optimized, animated gameplay, but it looks unreal.
And I'm hoping, like, I hope it functions as well as it looks, because it's like it's just one of those things where I'm like, oh man, I hope this is everything that I am imagining it to be, because it'd be nice to celebrate this studio, Sandfall Interactive.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And what I really like that turn-based RPGs and tactics RPGs the last couple years now, they're realizing that, okay, the gameplay isn't super fast and fluid like an action game. So let's turn up the dial on like the special moves and the special abilities and like really animeify it. Yeah, because it's like, if I'm going to watch this play out, you may as well make the spectacle like a holy shit.
Might as well look fucking cool.
Sure.
Just Michael Bay over and over.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Zack Snyder, Michael Bay together.
Yeah. So, yeah, sign me up. That was the biggest surprise of the Xbox showcase for me.
That one when I was like, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna check this out.
Yeah. The other one that was kind of a surprise, but is also a mystery, is the new Dragon Age.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up next. I was like, the animation style and what happened? Like, seems very different for them.
They took a turn. I think they took a different direction. They're like, hey, we got to mix it up.
I think they're trying to bring in a younger audience.
I think so too. And like the trailer obviously pointed to almost a Baldur's Gate kind of style, where they're like, they're showing all these characters like, we need a thief, we need this person. Then they're like, well, we need a leader, and they've got this mysterious person who is you, right? It's going to be your created character that's leading this group. But they don't really talk about, because like they kind of always introduce slightly new mechanics in each game, but like they didn't quite talk about how this one's going to actually work.
There was a lot of gripes about the style of animation and everything, and how it looked and everything out the gate. And then again, they're like, well, what kind of game is this going to be? Is it anything like the last one, like Inquisition or like anything? And I was like, I didn't really care. I was like, this kind of gives me like almost World of Warcraft, animation type of vibe, where it's like, it's still this medieval based like class system and character troping, but it's a little bit more playful. It's not so serious. But Dragon Age to me is like always like, oh, it's over the top, it's gory, it's gritty, like it's
dark fantasy, right?
Yeah, and so I'm like, it's an interesting take to kind of go this direction. But is it still going to be gory? Who knows? Like, I don't know. Like, it's
so there's a gameplay reveal that came out like a week or so ago.
Yeah, it came out a couple days after the main reveal. It looks very hack and slashy, which I think was the biggest gripe, because Inquisition and Dragon Age Origins, they had a lot more like team strategy.
Yeah, you could switch between the modes. There was kind of like a sort of like a Final Fantasy mode where you could set people's kind of abilities and what they did, or there was more of like an RTS mode kind of thing.
Yeah,
but it was I didn't enjoy that. It was kind of weird to mix between the two, but
just the gameplay for the Veilguard, the newest one here, it looks like there's almost none of that, which I know for like the Dragon Age diehard fans, that's been one of the biggest gripes, is it looks like a button mash action game. Like, honestly, Daryl, do you know what this gameplay reveal reminded me of? Was Kingdoms of Amalur.
Okay. Ooh, yeah. Really? I'm looking at like the skills on the bottom and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which I like, that doesn't necessarily bother me because I enjoyed the combat in Amalur. But again, it's for those Dragon Age guys, right? That's
the Dragon Age enthusiasts.
They have a very specific idea of what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, to keep things in perspective, Dragon Age Origins, the first game, came out in 2009.
Jesus.
Oh, damn.
And
So
I remember some of their last games being kind of busted at release too.
I had
They
a
weren't-
terrible time with Inquisition. Inquisition was fucking broken for me.
yeah. But I think that's why they changed the art style, because like to get a whole new generation of gamers, I guarantee you the people that are playing Fortnite have never heard of the first Dragon Age game. So to make it a little bit more almost family friendly from a glance, you know, looking at the characters, I think that's why they changed it like that, to try and entice new players to come and try it out.
I think I might try it.
I'll give it a
I'll
shot.
give it a go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Still a lot of questions about
If it's
it.
like Amalur, I really like that shit. So
Yeah. It's awesome. And then,
And the stories are always good in those games too.
yes, as long as it's well written, it should be good.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I'd say the last one we probably got to touch on, Doom Dark Ages.
yeah.
Interesting step that they go like backwards.
I think they just like ran out of futuristic shit. And like a lot of people, they're like, let's make a prequel, right? Which is
Yeah.
kind of funny. And it touches on, which is so
My
weird because it's
pet
still
peeve.
Doom guy in a space outfit. But
Yeah.
like
But the cape looks cool.
the cape looks dope. The
shield.
spike shield.
The
The
shield
gun,
is sick.
the gun that you feed skulls into.
Yeah,
that
just
shoots
shoot
people,
skull
like,
bits.
Yeah.
like overall, like looking at when they showed the
It's crazy.
gameplay, it definitely felt like it still had the graphics of Doom Eternal. Like it didn't feel like
Yeah.
they really changed the system that much. They just kind of created a new story with it. And same thing, honestly, it's fun. If you just want to move around quick and just shoot a bunch of stuff with usually a pretty wacky story and like some really cool enemies, like I say go for it. Like I'm not opposed to this game.
I've never been a fan of Doom. I've tried many of them. I don't understand the appeal, but I'm happy for the Doom fans out there that they get a new game, because it is one of those franchises that's been around for so long, that it's nice that they keep supporting it.
Indubitably.
Oh, nice.
That was a
Well
good
played.
one. That was a good
That
one.
was good.
No one's excited for the next expansion of World of Warcraft. I can't believe it.
How is that game still running? How and why?
Wild.
Like, do people still pay money monthly, or is it a free to play
No.
game?
Yeah, no, it's-
There's no monthly
Monthly
subscription.
subscriptions.
What?
Did they?
I thought they
Yeah,
took
dude,
out the
that's-
subscription, didn't they?
No,
Are you
I don't
sure?
think so.
I
just don't know
thought they
anymore. Like,
took
it's
it out.
like
yeah,
Someone been
it's been so
paying their
long.
like $7.99 since like 2006 when it came out. Like, holy shit!
Yeah, no doubt.
Guys, it's still costs money.
Yeah.
That's
How
It's
much is
still
it?
subscription based.
Wow.
How much is World of Warcraft these days?
See, this is Warcraft. Let's see
It,
here.
it used to be what, like $15 a month?
Yeah, it was something like
yeah,
that.
it's still around there.
That's fucking wild to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it was
thank
like,
you.
I remember
16
playing and being like, that's
Canadian.
all you played. That's all you played.
Yeah.
Is that game. Like, that's all you
Yeah.
played. So,
And you can get special subscription that lets you play the classic ones too.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought those
Yeah,
back.
but
yeah,
still.
whatever.
I would have played an even lower res.
I do think that we have to give a shout out to Xbox as well, with just Game Pass support.
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
I would say 85% of the games that they showed at their
Day
showcase, day one Game Pass.
I'm gonna have to get PC Game Pass.
Yeah, like say what you will about that model, but you know, comparing it to PS Extra right now, it's hard to fight for the PlayStation side. It really
Up until
is.
like February, PlayStation was like on this steady incline. You're like, ooh, PlayStation's like playing catch up here. They know what they got to do. And then the last couple of months, it's just been like, just absolute, like, here's this game that's 10 years old. Here's this game that no one's excited about. And they're like, look, it's coming out. And you're like, oh my gosh. Like, why
Don't give a shit.
why are you showing me this game anymore?
Oh, Monster Hunter Rise that launched in 2019. Woohoo! Like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pass.
Yeah,
Xbox absolutely killed it. I thought I thought Nintendo had a good show, like overall, but I thought Xbox had the best showcase this summer. Yeah. I thought they had the most things to be excited about. And to Jordan's point, I think that having these as Game Pass games, day one exclusives, only like bettered like anyone's excitement and maybe would like convince people to come to that side if they weren't already there to play Xbox stuff.
And now, like, for Call of Duty fans, like the fact that you can get Call of Duty day one on Game Pass, like I'm very curious to see how that affects their sales. Yeah. I'm curious how that affects their sales in the long term, because that'll a huge
be big
pickup.
on PC. That'll be a big PC pickup.
Yeah.
So overall, I would say Xbox One.
Xbox wins.
Nintendo actually got me excited about Nintendo, which is it's been quite a while.
It's been a long time, It's
been a while.
PlayStation, I'm hopeful, but I know.
But not nearly as much.
No,
that doesn't seem like there's much to come out for PlayStation. Like I know
some of these Xbox.
We had the big wave.
Some of the Xbox games will be multi-platform, so I'm not mad about it. But just what PlayStation chose to show,
it just feels like Sony is not in a rush to show their cards, because they know that their sales on the console are crushing it right now.
Yeah.
But it's a shame, because it's like, what is there to get excited about this fall for exclusives? There's not much.
Astrobots.
There's no new Fire Emblem. I'm so choked.
Yeah. No Pokemon teases either.
No, that
good.
Pokemon
Give me something
ABC.
Give me something better on Switch 2 that can actually put more than 5 trees in one location, and then we'll talk. I want to be excited about Pokemon, but fuck.
I got to wrap us up, or else this will be a fucking 2-hour episode. It was a big summer of announcements. Right, we're looking forward to a whole bunch of different things, and a bunch we probably missed. If there's something that you yourself think we missed and we should be looking into, tell us. We are on Discord. You can join our Good Enough Gaming podcast channel. You can chat with us. We are active now. We switched our whole group chat and all the shit over to there. So check that out. Make sure you like and subscribe. Don't forget to like us on Instagram. That's where we post all our clips from the upcoming week. YouTube, where you can get this beautiful face on video.
Thanks.
And the other guys, I guess. Yeah, we all know Daryl's the face of this podcast. I'm just the voice.
It's true.
Trevor's the beard.
The ass.
This is America's ass.
Once again, thanks for tuning in. I think that was good enough.
Good enough.
Yeah, good enough.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for more content. We also invite you to write an email or join us on Discord to talk about anything from our episodes or something else you would like to discuss in the future. Please subscribe to the Good Enough Gaming podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you listen to your podcasts. And remember, we might not be great, but we are good enough.